Bald eagles take about 5 years to reach their full maturity and get their white head and their white tail. And as you can see, the juveniles go through here. And if you ever see an eagle that's sort of spotted like this and has a lot of white underneath, it'll have a little eye, like a black across the eye, like a raccoon mask. And then you know you have a third year. And we have some birders out here and people who are very familiar with the eagles, and they can tell whether it's a first year, a second year, or a fourth year. Here you can see it's almost white in the fourth year. And that's the pictures here as well. As you can see, very dark when they're young. Another thing about eagles is you don't have baby eagles flying around. They're fully grown before they fledge the nest.
Last year, for the past 9 years, there's been a nest on Stony Point. And the adult, at least 2 at a time, would fly into this huge nest. It's 8 feet across, this huge nest of sticks and mud and vines. And the adults would fly into the nest, go down in it with their talons, and they would flap and they'd wrist and they'd take the nest kind of apart. They would dishevel it. And then it could be 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half hour, hour later, 2, 3, 4 juvenile eagles, which look very different than an adult, will fly in and they will put the nest back together. So to me, that's a teaching nest because I've seen it at least a half a dozen times.
One of the things we need to preserve are our trees around the river, because the eagles need to perch on the trees and build their nests. And their nests are about the size of a Volkswagen Bug. So they're huge. So we need nice, large trees.
This year, the same nest that was there is now relocated over to George's Island. And just right now, and as a matter of fact, I can see an eagle flying right now, going in, and they're building a nest because I see them flying today with big long vines in their talons building the nest.
Before they learn to fly, they're the right size, which can be up to about 3 feet high and a wingspan of like 6 to 8 feet. Another reason we need the trees is because they need to be able to perch and rest while they're waiting to go back out and hunt. 80% of their diet is fish, and they're opportunistic. They will eat other things like carrion and rabbits and things like that, but they really, they go for the fish, and they come down here. And we keep, hopefully the river is clean enough in order for them to exist around this area.
I got into birding from Charlie Roberto, who is the man.
Yep.
And many of us in the Hudson Valley that have gotten into this citizen science is because of Charlie Roberto.
I'm credited with starting the EAGLEFEST through TEATOWN Lake Reservation. This is the 20th year. And my intention with EAGLEFEST was to bring attention to the river and to bring attention to the fact that we can lead a national symbol to near extinction and then bring it back where they're more successful than they've been in over 100 years. And it's because we cleaned up the river so they're not being poisoned anymore by DDT. And people that live and commute in the area don't realize the importance of the river. It was settled because of the readily available fish and game that people could hunt in the early days. And it had gotten to the point where you couldn't even eat the fish out of the river unless they migrated in for a short time. And we've reversed that trend, and it's something that we always have to be vigilant for. You know, the river's cleaner than it ever was, but it could still be cleaner. And there's new dangers of lead and mercury and pesticides like neonicotinoids that can end up causing the same problem that DDT did for wildlife.
We're really celebrating is the beautiful Hudson River being protected. We've done so much this year and in years past to make sure that we don't allow industrial waste to be dumped into the Hudson River. We passed the Save the Hudson legislation this year to make sure that Holtec couldn't put nuclear waste here in the river. And we know we have to keep fighting the barges, and all of the other uses that take place on the Hudson that keep it from being the magnificent place that we've worked so hard to get it to. So we're going to keep fighting the good fight and also teaching all of these young people about environmental stewardship. That's what TEATOWN is all about. That's what EAGLEFEST is all about. And that is what I am dedicated to making sure that we continue to do in New York State.
Now we've got almost 500 nesting pairs of eagles and in New York State, and we have made such a comeback, and it's only because we care about the river, we care about the wildlife that's around us, and when we care about the wildlife, we care about our river, we care about us. It all works together. The eagles were being decimated by the DDT, the pesticide that was out there, and the eagles, it wasn't hurting them directly, but they were eating fish that were eating it all got bioaccumulated in the fish. And people laugh sometimes when they hear about, well, it's bioaccumulating in these little insects or little fish, or it all makes its way forward to the bigger animals, and ultimately it affects us. So thank you so much for caring. Thank you for all your work, and everybody who is out there fighting for our river. It makes a difference. You look at what we have around us, and we are so blessed to have people who cared about the future enough to protect the eagles, to protect our waterways, to protect us, so that we get to enjoy this and share this with our kids. So for everything that everybody's doing, thank you so much.
And it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It's absolutely amazing. That's what I got to say.